What's going on, everyone? Let me first say thank you to everyone that has subscribed to me. I know 100 subs isn't a ton for some people, but I am so grateful for all of you, so I just wanted to say thank you so much. Alright, so for today's video, I am ranking my favorite Nintendo 64 games of all time. I thought this would be a great time to do a non-Smash related video since I just hit 100 subs. I also want to say I do plan on doing a tier list for GameCube games in the future. The only reason I'm doing Nintendo 64 games first is there are a few GameCube games I want to beat before making that list. Currently I'm playing Zelda Twilight Princess, so I'm just going to do the GameCube tier list in the future. Also, I want to mention I will be ordering the top tier, but the other tiers won't be ordered. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into it. So let's start with these bottom two tiers. I have not played any of these games, but I separated them because the tier above the bottom tier has 3 games that are ranked really high on the all-time Nintendo 64 game list. I wanted to make sure that people saw I have not played those 3 games specifically because I wanted to avoid pissing people off that thought these games should be top tier. I have played GoldenEye a few times, but not nearly enough to properly rank it on this list. Alright, so for C tier, I am going to just put 2 games in here, and that's Bomberman 64 and Bomberman Hero. Both of these games are pretty decent. I enjoyed them as a kid, but as I got older, I tried replaying them and realized they actually weren't that great. These games would be good to rent, like you may have fun with them for a few days or so, but if you're unfamiliar with N64 games, I would not bother with these because there are so many games that are better on this list. Next, here is the lineup for B tier. I think these games are good enough to beat, but they all could be a bit better. Pokemon Snap was a very creative game, but to me it got old pretty fast. It is an original game, but overall it's just pretty good for me. Next we got Yoshi's Story, and it's a solid game, but it could be better. I think what really hurts this one is that it's a sequel to Yoshi's Island, and Yoshi's Island is noticeably better than this game. So because it's not as good as the Super Nintendo version, that was a huge disappointment. Next we got Star Fox, and it is a pretty good game, but honestly it's just not my style of game. I've never been a big fan of spaceship shooter games. It has some creativity. This game was good for the time, but it's definitely just not my kind of game. Next we got Kirby and the Crystal Shards. And this game is actually one of the better Kirby games in my eyes. I liked how you could swallow more than one power at once to create multiple unique powers. It's pretty fun, but to me it was a lot better when I was younger. The games at the top of this list are just as good now as they were back then, so that's why Kirby isn't higher. It's perfectly fine if you're an adult and enjoy this game, it's just not that amazing to me. Okay, here's what we got for A tier. And the interesting thing about this tier is that all these games are really good multiplayer games. Let's start with Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. Alright, these games are really fun to play with friends. I like how it's 3-on-3, which is different from the normal 6-on-6 combat from the Game Boy games. It's cool how you pick Pokemon with the preset moves, so you have to work with what you have. You can't customize the moves like you could in the original Pokemon games. The other fun part about this game is the minigames, and honestly the minigames are really damn fun. I'd give Pokemon Stadium 2 a slight edge overall compared to the first one, but they're both really close and both very fun. Alright, next I'm going to talk about Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing. I'm not even a huge fan of racing games, but both of these games are fun as hell to play with friends. I have not played either in a long time, but they're both really great racing games, and do have a lot of similarities. Are they the best racing games of all time? Probably not, but both were really amazing for the time, and they're still really fun to play today. I would say Wave Race 64 would be right there with these, but I have never played it, so I just can't even put it in this tier. Alright, now let's talk about Mario Golf and Mario Tennis. These two Mario sports games are really damn fun, honestly. I'm not a huge fan of golf or tennis, but both these games are just straight up fun. I really think you could take any sport, make it a Mario game, and it will be fun. If you have never played either of these, check them out. If you prefer more fast-paced games, you may like Mario Tennis more, but if you prefer golf or just slower-paced games, you may prefer Mario Golf. Alright, so here's what we got for S tier. I do think there are some games in A tier that could be in S tier, since both tiers are multiplayer-focused games. Just for me personally, I feel these 3 Mario Party games and Smash Bros are on another level in terms of how amazing they are. and the replay value is a lot higher than the ones in A tier. So that is what really separates these two tiers for me. The A tier games are fun to play from time to time, and the S tier games I could legit play all the time. If I had a group of friends that loved all these multiplayer games, we would be playing Mario Party and Smash every day. We would play the Mario sports games, the racing games, and Pokemon Stadium every now and then, but we wouldn't be playing them as often as we would be playing Smash and Mario Party. Alright, so let's talk about the Mario Party games first. If you have never played any Mario Party games, you must be Patrick Star because you've been living under a damn rock. I mean, come on guys. If you are familiar with this series and you just haven't played these three, then you really need to check out these three Mario Parties. I have played every Mario Party game ever, and I really think these three are the greatest Mario Party games of all time. The biggest reason I think that is the mini games are amazing. In the later Mario Party games, the mini games just aren't on the same level. Yeah, you may find a few in each game that are good, but in the first three Mario Party games, 80% of the mini games are fun as hell. Other than that, I really like the boards in these games better than most in the new ones, but yeah, the mini games are really the big separator for why these Mario Party games are so great. Next, we got the OG Smash that started it all, Smash 64. If you have never played Smash 64, I would really recommend it. Is it the best Smash game? No, it's not, but it's still really fun. So in this version of the game, combos last forever because there's more hits done in this game than there is in any other Smash game. So combos can really last a very long time without the opponent being able to escape. Grabs are really different too because they are very fast with little lag, so you can spam grab a lot more in this game. There's no air dodges, no spot dodges, and there's only 12 characters. There are a lot more differences, but I'm not going to go over all of them. The biggest takeaway is it's a very fun game, so even if you don't want to play it competitively, just try it out with some friends for fun, and you'll have a great time. Okay, now the moment we've all been waiting for, SS tier, aka top tier. Now the first thing I want to say is I didn't realize that Rayman 2 The Great Escape was not on this list, so I am adding this game in verbally, and I wrote it down on the tier 2. So Rayman 2 is an amazing 3D platformer. I think it's honestly one of the most underrated games of all time. The ratings are really good on this game, it's just not talked about nearly enough. You really need to check out this game if you love 3D platformers. It has so much original stuff. For instance, Rayman shoots energy balls like he's a damn Dragon Ball Z character. He has a helicopter mechanic on his head, so that makes navigating really fun in this game. There are also moments when you ride on creatures and have to fly in the air, so there are actually levels where it feels like a completely different game, and that's really cool to me. This one may anger some people, but I'm going with Super Mario 64 at number 8. And it's not that the game isn't amazing, because it really is incredible. You all just have to realize that the 7 games in front of this one are absolutely fantastic. Like, the games in this tier aren't just the best N64 games, they are close to the very top of my list of the best games of all time. Anyway, Mario 64 is amazing. It was the 3D Mario game that started it all, and as good as the sequels have been, you could legit make a case that this is the best 3D Mario game of all time. Jumping into the paintings to get to each world was so iconic, the music was amazing, and the controls were really damn good too. If you enjoy games with precise movement like Smash and are a big fan of other newer Mario games, you will love Super Mario 64. Alright, next we got the 4 3D platformer games made by Rareware, aka Rare, and I just want to say it is really sad the direction this company has gone. They created 4 of the greatest games of all time in my eyes, and all of them were made close together on one console. It's crazy to me that they were able to create these 4 masterpieces in the amount of time they spent. They eventually started making completely different games that I don't like at all, but oh well, I'll just keep playing these games forever I guess. So anyway, out of the 4 I have Conker's Bad Fur Day first, Banjo-Tooie second, Banjo-Kazooie third, and Donkey Kong 64 last, and these games ranked 4 through 7 on my whole tier list. So even though I have Donkey Kong last out of the 4 Rare games, it's still an amazing game. They never made another Donkey Kong game like this one. This is a 3D platformer where you can play multiple Donkey Kong characters and you have to switch between them to solve puzzles and complete worlds. In this game, the golden bananas are the main thing you're trying to get. They're basically like the stars from Mario 64. Overall, this game is incredible, and the only reason I don't have this game higher is you have to solve minigames to get 1 to 2 golden bananas in each world, and to me the minigames can be somewhat fun, but it's kind of strange how you have to leave the world just to do some minigame, and then you're transported back to the world. Some of them are decent, but some of the minigames you have to do are a bit annoying. The minigames are just a tiny flaw I came up with to justify ranking this as the lowest rare game, but overall this game is insanely good, and you need to play it immediately. Alright, next we got Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. In these games you play as the bird and bear combo Banjo and Kazooie, and it's really cool how each character has unique properties. The worlds in these games are so magical and fun, and I would say these two games are contenders for the best soundtracks of all time. So in this game, you collect puzzle pieces, and as you collect them, you are able to enter new worlds. The biggest reason I have Banjo-Tooie over Kazooie is Banjo-Tooie has everything Banjo-Kazooie has, but they have a few more features that make it slightly better. In Banjo-Tooie, you can actually separate from Banjo and Kazooie and play them independently to solve puzzles. Also in Banjo-Tooie, they added special eggs that are fire, ice, and grenade eggs, which I thought was really cool. These two games were some of my favorites as a kid, and I have replayed them multiple times as an adult, and they are just as good now as they were back then. Do yourself a favor and play these games immediately. And now let's talk about Conker's Bad Fur Day. The first thing I want to say is this is the only game on this entire list that I did not play as a kid, and that's because it's actually rated M. So maybe you're like me and you played Donkey Kong and Banjo, but you never played Conker because you weren't allowed to as a kid. Well, let me tell you something. If you still haven't played this game, you have missed out greatly. This actually may be the most unique, random, and funny game I have ever played. In this game, you play as Conker, a squirrel that is also an alcoholic, and the plot is he's trying to find his way home after a wild drunken night. Throughout the game, you experience a really wild fucking ride, so get ready for this one. Like I said about Rayman, how it almost feels like a different game at times, the same thing applies to Conker, but way more. Every level is so different, and this isn't too much of a spoiler, but out of nowhere you actually get a shotgun for an entire level in this game. And keep in mind, you do not have a gun for the entire first half of the game. So the humor in this game is really funny. I don't laugh out loud that often, especially from video games, and this game had me dying at times. This game is also very challenging, and I think they did that because this game is actually marketed towards adults, because it's rated M. Most Nintendo games are actually for kids or for everyone, so I think that's why it's so challenging. So anyway guys, do yourself a favor and check out this game sometime, and you really won't be disappointed. Now let's take a look at the top 3. Many may disagree with this, but damn it, it's my list, so I'm going with Paper Mario at number 1, Majora's Mask at number 2, and Ocarina of Time at number 3. So let's talk about Ocarina of Time first. This game is considered by many to be the best N64 game of all time, and I definitely can see why. This game was really revolutionary and had an incredible storyline. I was mind blown the first time I ever played this game, and I have played it many times since then, and it has really never gotten old for me. What makes this particular Zelda game so great is the fact that you can play as a kid and an adult. The time travel concept is so amazing to me, and all the temples are fantastic on this game. As amazing as it is, let me explain why I think Majora's Mask is just a little bit better. So Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time are two of the most similar Zelda games in terms of style. Like, the graphics are pretty much identical. There are even some of the same exact NPCs in Majora's Mask that are also in Ocarina of Time. What makes Majora's Mask slightly better to me is I love how you can play as a Deku, Goron, and a Zora once you get the masks. I love the concept of getting masks in this game because you have to do fun side quests to get them, and some have extra abilities when you wear them. Even though this game is shorter than Ocarina of Time, I love all the temples. The Stone Tower specifically may be my favorite Zelda dungeon of all time. I also love the concept of having to reset time because you only get 3 days to beat the game. Really, you have unlimited time because it saves when you reset back to the first day, but the whole storyline of the world is going to end in 3 days is so wild to me. Overall, it really is an absolute masterpiece. Alright, now I know a lot of people would have Ocarina of Time first, or even Majora's Mask, but Paper Mario is my absolute favorite. I really could see any of these games in top tier being the number 1 N64 game, and especially could see either Zelda game getting the top spot, but Paper Mario has a really special place in my heart. First off, there is not another RPG like this game. The only other game just like it is Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, which clearly is the sequel. So I think the graphics are beautiful on this game, the music is incredible, the story is amazing, and the RPG elements are so damn good. No other game has something quite like the badge system in Paper Mario. You have a limited amount of badge points you can use, and you have to strategically use them to make Mario stronger. It can add new attacks for him, make him electric, increase his power, and much more. Also, fighting with your partners is such a cool concept. I love how in each world you gain a new partner that has a unique personality and skill set. This game is just so well done and magical. It just really is so well rounded, because other than the RPG elements, it also has really fun platform elements and puzzle solving as well. It really makes me sad that after Thousand Year Door, all the Paper Mario games have changed and no longer are RPGs at all. I don't think the company cares what the fans want anymore, because there are so many people like me that love the first two Paper Mario games and did not like the newer ones. I believe Thousand Year Door is more popular than Paper Mario 64, so if you have played the GameCube version and have not played this one, you really need to, because it's just as good in my eyes. Also, if you like Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo, I think you will love this game. Alright, so that's it for the N64 tier list. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a like, because that really helps, and subscribe for more videos like this. Do you all think I got the tier list right, or was there something that you would have changed about it? Let me know in the comment section, and thank you for watching.